All right, Shalom. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh by Shem Yahushua by Shem Rakah Hakwadash, the balance apostles of GMS, and sincere Shalom to the brothers out there pushing this truth and sincerity. And what I have here, it says China preparing for war with U.S. Asia by partnering with Russia, expert. And heck, we didn't call it about a good 1,000 times already, even more than that. And for anybody that doesn't believe that we're gonna go to war with them, not we, but if anybody don't believe that Babylon's going to war with anybody, well, it's time to rethink that now. Especially with the way everything's looking, no one's in a position to deny this place going to war. It's been prophesied. But I'm gonna play bits and pieces of this clip just to get mostly to the point of where I want to get at. I might even leave the link in the description just so anybody that sees it and wants to see more of it can just watch it from there. So I'm gonna get started with a little bit of this.
Atlas Organization's founder and the author of China's Vision of Victory, Jonathan D.T. Ward. Jonathan, it's good to see you. Thanks very much for being here.
Hi, Maria.
So far, Xi Jinping has supported Russian President Vladimir Putin. There's no way around that. There's no way to suggest otherwise, given the fact that he has called the sanctions outrageous. Your thoughts on what Xi Jinping might want to say to Zelensky?
Well, I think they're playing both sides here. I mean, trying to sort of keep up an appearance of being a good actor, especially for a European audience. I mean, their trade with Europe is very important to their long-term strategy. And at the same time, they're, I'd say, a fervent supporter of Moscow. I mean, we see that in all their ideological communications that, both in their own language and, even publicly. I mean, the meeting between the Russian and Chinese foreign ministers is also one that was sort of in keeping with their no limits partnership declaration. So it's pretty clear whose side Beijing is on, but they believe that they can fool the rest of us, and they've been very good at that, honestly, for years, into thinking that they're a responsible actor. I mean, that's the game.
You see, there it is. They even admitted it. They've been fooling everybody, and they've been doing a damn good job of it. I mean, look at the media. Media controls all these people's minds. The media is what people believe their minds into. But then, they're all trying to get together just to take down this place. And soon many other countries going to follow right behind them, just so they can take down this place. Heck, they even made a book, or I guess this guy made a book about China's Vision of Victory, and it showed, as you saw in the picture in the video, it's the cover is the Lady Liberty, which is a fucking Haraj's demon, which is actually a guy, even floating underwater or in the water. So their vision of victory, and just the same as everybody's vision of victory of taking this place down, is the dismantling of these icons and along with destroying this place. This is all set up by the Lord. Many people wants to deny and claim some other mess. You can't deny this. You can't deny this. The power of the Lord is that much more powerful. You can't say that for all these times that we didn't say that World War III was coming. We've been saying World War III was coming for over 10 plus years now, and no one believed it. Now look at it. All these other countries starting off war since, I would say, 2019, on up to now. And now they talking about taking down this place. They're all going to come together against this place. So I'm going to skip to the other part I want to get at. I believe it's right here.
Function efficiently. And then I think that that the U.S. has at its disposal. I mean, investment bans can be enacted, I think, relatively somewhat readily, and you need to expand that across, I think, state-owned policy banks that are, enacting the major strategic enterprises of the CCP. The general financial ecosystem that props up their military-industrial base. I mean, that's more than the military-industrial companies themselves. It's the financial corporations there that are allowing that to all sort of function efficiently. And then I think that the other issue is the sort of crisis that we have among our business leaders, who I think just do not understand this. Their understanding of history and geopolitics, I think, is really not up to this moment. And Larry Fink released his letter to shareholders just a couple of weeks ago, and he said, most of us never imagined that in our lifetimes you would see a war like this waged by a nuclear superpower. It's not that hard to imagine. I mean, they've been talking about it, both Russia and China. And this is a firm that has told people to triple their allocations to China last year, and you look at just something like BlackRock or Apple, which makes the vast majority of its products still in China. I mean, the business leaders are not yet moving on this, and it can't be the government alone that decides that. I mean, the government has its hands full with other issues, but we have to have a consensus among our national security and business leaders that things must change. When it comes, especially to China, I think Russia is the precedent for that. You can understand what risk exposure really looks like, but it's time for the business leaders at the highest possible level to start rethinking China and rethinking their strategies, and to stop telling people that this is okay, because it's not. They're going to get themselves in trouble.
Right.
And most of all,
let me switch gears now, Jonathan. I need.
So you see, she wasn't even trying to hear all that. And of course, they are on that time limit as well, but you can see the disdain in her face. That, hey, a lot of people are always having that same face too. They don't want to hear all this. They don't want to hear that these other countries are actually doing better than this place, and that this place is going to be taken down. All these other countries are doing is just milking with the resources, the products and the money out of this place. But soon they're going to start backing out of the dollar. Russia already did. China's next. And soon other countries behind it. But you heard what he said, that it's not hard to believe that we're going to be in a nuclear war. They've been talking about it for years even. It's not hard to imagine. We saw it coming years ago, prior to all this. It was just a matter of time of when. You have, and we've been talking about it. We didn't talk about a virus coming out from 10 plus years ago, to the point you was going to start needing masks. Guess what happened? A virus came out. We started needing to wear masks. Then we talked about the jab that was going to come out with it. Guess what? A jab done came out with it. Then we talked about the MOTB that came out before this virus. And guess what? You can get this MOTB in various other countries, including some of the states here. It's just a matter of time of when they make it mandatory, which we said they're going to make it mandatory. It's just a matter of when. So everything that we done talked about doesn't happen through the spirit of Lord YAHAWAHSHI'S. This is Jeremiah 50:9. It says, "For lo, I will raise a cause to come up against Babylon, an assembly of great nations from the north country, and they shall set themselves in array against her. From thence she shall be taken. Their arrows shall be as a mighty expert man. None shall return in vain." So even with this scripture, the first part has already happened. It says, "For lo, I will raise a cause to come up against Babylon," aka America, "an assembly of great nations." Russia and China, that's two right there. What the rest is going to come up soon enough. But this scripture, already half of it is already being started. And it says, "And they shall set themselves in array against her," which is a lot of countries already, but like, hey, we need to target this place. We already hate this place more than we hate each other. So let's get rid of this, and then we can worry about each other. From thence she shall be taken. Their arrow shall be as a mighty expert man, and none shall return in vain. So they're going to launch these missiles and wreck this place entirely. Entirely. And the Lord said none of them shall return in vain. So once this place crumbles, all these other countries is going to come down next. But this place is the main place that needs to be destroyed with the nuclear missiles. I'm going to be surprised if the Lord used all these missiles from, like, every single missile every country has just to load it upon this place. So when we even come after them, they don't have no missiles to handle us. I mean, how they wouldn't, none of the powers they have is on the level of the Lord. So even if the Lord left some missiles, they wouldn't do them no good. Because the Lord and Lord's elect is going to be fine anyways. Judgment Day is actually going to be a thing. It's not going to be some Terminator thing, but it's going to be on a higher level. So this is Matthew 24:6, and I like getting this scripture specifically because the Lord said this. The Lord always has always kept his promise. This is Matthew 24:6, and it says, "And ye shall hear wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet." So all these things has to happen. That's why the Lord sends his hopeful elect out there to preach this gospel, to tell them, hey, this is what's going to happen. You people don't believe it. Well, that's fine. It's not meant for everybody. It's meant for the hopeful elect that we got to wake up. I mean, Esau puts it in his movies. You mean to tell me that he can come up with a movie about GPS when GPS wasn't even a thing? And now we have GPS not only in our cars, but in our phones? And then you mean to tell me that all these, some of these older movies where they have these quote unquote crazy people outside or crazy person outside prophesying, saying, oh, we're all going to die, this is going to happen, this is going to happen. And then somehow we're out there doing the same thing. Somehow we're out there doing the same thing. Somehow Esau put these in his movies, and don't think this, and people think this doesn't even happen. But yet he's able to make Terminator, these other movies, and some of these movies based off a true story. Some of these movies are going to actually be a real thing, just like Terminator. You mean to tell me they can make Terminator, the movie, with the actual Terminator robot cyborg, but yet the UK now has a cyborg called Amika. That's, and they only tell the good side. It's supposed to help you do certain things or help you navigate where to go, this is place and that. But yet China came out with a controlled, like a controlled Android tank that can snipe somebody from miles away with just a assault rifle. You put them two together, there goes your Terminator. And they already talked about making a actual life-size Terminator that can do the same thing as that controlled tank can do, without having to actually have someone behind the computer to direct them what to do. So you know what that means. So a lot of these stuff is actually already a thing, but people want to ignore it. So when it says, and ye shall hear wars and rumors of wars, guess what? We've been saying that for years. Guess what? Not only have we been saying that World War III was going to be a thing, because guess what? Even before that, even because we're technically in World War III now, but these other countries have been going to war. We've been hearing wars and rumors of wars. Well, guess what? When we look online, Babylon's been in war since before this place was even called America. And they are still up into war even up to today. So the wars didn't go nowhere. These wars are still going. Each time that Esau says, okay, we done milked the money out of this war, let's make a new war. Let's make another war. Guess what? When Israel and Gaza, I believe it's called Gaza, went to war, guess what? They was funding both sides. Now you had this thing with Russia and Ukraine. Guess what? The UK is now helping with Ukraine with funding money. And now you have China siding with Russia. And guess what? They're going to start funding each other. And guess what? Don't be surprised when you hear Babylon had a hand into it. So for all these people that think that this place is so innocent and won't be touched, you got a lot coming for you. You got a lot of surprises coming to you. Actually, I got one more scripture. This is, I want to get Psalms 82:5. It says, they know not, neither will they understand. They walk on in darkness. All the foundations of the earth are out of course. So that's for all these people that really believes in this society. They just what happens when you walk in darkness? I'm talking about like even outside at night with no lights. With no lights. You're trying to struggle to you're struggling to see, you're squinting your eyes, and you're just kind of wandering. Next thing you know, you're just pretty much lost. And that's a lot of these people. Our people is just lost in the darkness, and they lost under our oppressors. Even just the average Edomite, they are lost into that darkness, and they won't know until that missile drops on them and actually just wipes out this place. So they think everything is fine when they can't see. But you've got some of these Edomites out here that actually sees that this place is going to be destroyed. They're just living up as much as they can, which is the best thing for them. That's the best thing they can do. Because even if they was go into some other country, guess what? We're still coming for them. This is 2 Timothy 2:4. It says, no man that warreth entangleth himself with the affairs of this life, that he may please him who have chosen him to be a soldier. So that's why we don't get caught up into the ways of this life, as far as like how our people act, and just think everything's gonna be all fine. Guess what? They walking in darkness still. So anybody that thinks, hey, that this place is gonna be fine, and that's fine for them. That's fine for them. We don't care. That's why the Lord has chosen us to be a man of war, the man that warreth. The man that warreth doesn't entangle himself with the affairs of this life. I mean, think about it. You got guys that's hardcore into the military that was just like, hey, I will stay in this military if I need to for the rest of my life. Because you got guys that will actually stay for the military, especially since they get paid to train newer recruits. They got to keep the military going. But those are the ones that's not even concerned about what's going on in the average person's life. When you really think about it, they're not concerned about what these people are doing or how these people's family feel. Guess what? They the same ones that got to send stuff back to these families because they didn't see plenty of these recruits die. And guess what? They're the tough ones that break the news to them. And guess what? They are used to it because this is not the first time for them. They're not concerned after they deliver the message. They're not concerned with these families. They're like, okay, time to train the next recruits. Time to keep doing the same thing until my time is over. You got a lot of some of these hardcore vets that's actually in there that will actually stay. They damn near pushing 60. They still in there. But that's all the points I wanted to get into for the most part. But these people have a lot coming to them if they really truly believe in this place. It's going to still stand. So, Lord, this is a little edifying, and with that, shalom.